Here with Jason Wolle of the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Organization out of Park City, Utah, Center of Excellence. Jesse Stewart had an incredible opportunity to hang out with you this last couple days. Went out and visited Fort Carson, visited the VA, USOC, and went out and been shooting the last 8 or 9 hours. So, first of all, Jason, why don't you just introduce yourself and talk about what you do and what you're a part of and what you hope to accomplish.
So, I'm Jason. I'm an 18-year-old snowboarder from Lake Park, Colorado. I'm on the U.S. Rookie Halfpipe team, and eventually my goal is to make it to the Olympics and win. That's what I want to do.
Awesome. Well, back in June, I had the opportunity to meet you at the rookie camp, 2018 rookie camp, and it was the second one that I spoke at. I spoke at the previous one, which I think was back in 2015, the last time they did that. But when I went there, the emphasis was talking about this resilient-based lifestyle, living life on the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual planes of existence, and the importance for me in terms of what happens when you become lopsided in one of those 4 areas. And I think with high-performing individuals, especially athletes, and we deal with the same struggles within the ranger community, there's an overemphasis on the physical aspect. And I talk about where things have led for me a little bit, and since we've gotten to know each other, shared more with you, I was wondering if you could share your thoughts on this resilient-based lifestyle, and perhaps how maybe with more application where it could take you.
Well, the first thing I noticed over the past weekend was that how mentally tough you and other military members are, and having that resiliency mindset, not only physically, but to recover afterwards is also important. And I know that some military members struggle with that afterwards. And I think that not only could it translate to having that resiliency mindset after the military, could translate to after snowboarding or after a professional career. I think it could really, push athletes and veterans forward in life and finding a new passion and a new way of life after the military or after a pro career.
But I mean, for an 18-year-old kid to hear you say something like that, honestly, is a little mind-blowing for me. And obviously, what I'm most concerned about is, what can we do to help you now? With winning now on the World Cup, the Tour, X Games, and then setting you up for success when 2022 comes around. So in terms of now, with all the resources that you have available to you through the COE in Park City, with the U.S. Ski and Snowboard, and the USOC here in Colorado Springs, how do you see the mental and the physical coming together?
Well, in my opinion, mental strength is just as important as physical strength, especially when it comes to snowboarding. You're put in those high-pressure situations when you drop in for runs, and it's important to keep your calm and perform under pressure. And I think that with that resiliency mindset and what you've been preaching to me recently, and I think not only will it directly translate to snowboarding, it will also help me outside of life. And right now, doing that will, as preparation for my contest season, will really help me succeed, I think, in having a stronger mindset going into contests and being able to perform better under pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I've just seeing how, and this will tie into the next question, performing under pressure. So yesterday when you showed up, you first thing you did is you had a FaceTime call with General Bob Casson, recently retired 3-star general, a initial member and supporter of the Military Advisory Board with U.S. Ski and Snowboard. Talk to me a little bit about that. We'll start with that, with meeting him and what your thoughts were.
Well, meeting General Casson over FaceTime was kind of surreal. I realized that he's been a very important mentor to you, and for him to open that door to me as well means a lot, and I really thank him for that. But also just how he related his military experience and sports experience of coming from the JV football team at, what was the football team?
Oh, West Point.
West Point, okay, so yeah, the JV football team at West Point, and not playing to starting his junior and senior year. I thought that was moving from the JV to the pro team or the JV to the varsity team, really resonated with me, because that's what I aspire to do. As I aspire to, succeed on the development program, the rookie halfpipe team, and then eventually move up and prove myself on the pro team. And I think that was really inspiring and helpful for me. And not only can he give me that advice, but other rookies too.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that guy has been an amazing mentor to me. Since I was a company commander, he was a 2-star general in charge of 35,000, people on the ground at the time, and having an opportunity to be his aide, and then having a much different relationship being a civilian on my end, and then him still being in the military, and now where we're going. And I'll tell you, a guy like that, he's just motivated to do whatever he can to help you guys getting better, and ultimately, beginning to wins. So that was the start of the day. And then went down to Fort Carson and thought we were going to be meeting with one full-bird colonel, and instead we ended up meeting with about 13 by the time everything was said and done. So, and keep in mind, each of those individuals in that room have the responsibility of anywhere from 2,500 to 7,500 men and women under their command. Tell me about those thoughts.
So when we first got there, we thought to that insane conference room. It was really cool. I think you were telling me
not very. So what we were in was the commanding general of each base has his own private briefing room where he is briefed by all of his staff, his commanders. Yeah, that's where we were. We were in his briefing room.
Mm-hmm. And talking to them and meeting those first initial group was somewhat intimidating just by itself. This was even before I met the rest of them. I was really impressed with how composed they were and how organized they were. I saw them all taking notes and really listening to what we had to say, and coming up with counter ideas and other beneficial statements that we can improve on and brainstorm, and then to later go downstairs and meet the rest of the group and the other colonels, and talk to them, give them hats, sign some autographs. I thought that really humbled me and made me think about not only do I appreciate what they do for us, but they really appreciate what us as athletes do for the United States, and how that we can both feed off of each other's energy.
Yeah, so Colonel Edwards reached back out to me. So he's in charge of basically all the wounded warriors that are on a base, and he's very interested in being able to leverage you and coming back and talking with those people. Some of them are going to be able to rehab and come back into the force. Some of them are not. They're going to have to retire and go with the veterans life and quote unquote system. But what are your thoughts on potentially coming down and do visits with with some of the wounded warriors down there?
Oh, absolutely. I'd definitely love to come down and talk. I myself has had previous experience with injuries and coming back from that and recovering. I think I might be able to give some helpful advice to some people. At my young age, I think my wisdom may be a little limited, but I think I could lend a supporting hand to those people and really help them decide what they're going to do next, or inspire them to find a new passion. And I think that's one of the helpful things that I can provide for them. And not only me providing help them, but they help me, because with their injuries and what they've sacrificed already, I think it will be a double inspiration for me and really motivate myself to do better and do well in my sport.
Yeah, no, and I'll tell you what, it would honestly mean the world to them. And while now in modern day America, USD and Singapore is not necessarily a household name. It's the NFL athletes, Major League Baseball athletes, etc. A group like that, once they do know and they're educated, that'll mean the entire world to them. And we had an opportunity right after that to head over to the Colorado Springs VA and had an interesting experience there. And the interesting thing is about that is that was what I was most worried about, was going to be like the most depressing part of the trip. And I'll be honest with you, man, a lot of people don't even want to go there. They go there just because it's the only thing they have available to them and out of necessity. And the reception that we got there I was actually pretty shocked. But once again, a group of people that you give a little bit to them, the amount of support that you can give back can be simply mind-blowing. But with that being said, your little brother is in the process of applying to the Air Force Academy, and I don't know if you've been able to connect how real, even with me, back in June and the discussions had, if you've been able to connect what your brother is about ready to potentially go in on. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I really want Jackson to succeed at what he desires to do as well. And for him to go to the Air Force Academy, I'm not only proud of him, but I really want him to succeed. And meeting you guys and meeting other veterans has really told me and made me realize how important it is. With that brotherly mindset and serving your country, I think that really means a lot. And I think that sometimes not enough attention is brought to it. And with Jackson applying for the Air Force Academy, hopefully he gets in. But with him applying, I'm really, really proud for him to be able to maybe go that officer route and do something with the Air Force and really make a difference.
Yeah, so as far as, the quote-unquote officer route, we talked a little bit about that, with being introduced to some of my guys that have worked, with me. Today we had an opportunity to go out and shoot with them, and just wanted to talk about a little bit about what happened today.
So today we went out to the range and I met some of Jesse's former ranger mates, and we went out and bonded a little bit over some firearms, which was really cool. And I got to really compare them to you and your story that you've had, and versus them. And what I really found out was it is different in some ways. How you were responsible for them, but they were also responsible for you. They held you accountable for your deeds, and you held them accountable for theirs. And that mutual respect and that belief in each other and the camaraderie was really eye-opening. I knew that the military was close, but not that close. And it really made me think of how I can relate to my brother and my family, and even my fellow members on the U.S. snowboard team, and how we can push ourselves to be better people and really appreciate what we have and try and excel through it and make ourselves better every day.
Well, I think one of the interesting things about the universes aligned and allowed us to meet, and the other athletes that I've worked with, what you saw today is not necessarily common. We obviously were a lot closer knit, much smaller organization than the quote unquote big army, and so you definitely do have. There's a difference between the two. Now, why I believe it's important is, comparing it to the U.S. ski and snowboard team, obviously the level of competition, the level of what we were required to do, particularly in 2007, I see that as kind of being on the same, lines with once you get to that level of where you're at now, where you are literally competing against people like Shaun White, and, obviously you're not a female, but, Chloe Kenneth, and just in terms of the standard of competition you now have, that bar is set pretty high. And I really hope that, in the next couple of years, I'm able to see more of that team aspect come out. And I bring that up because, one of the things that the leadership, or your leadership, is talking about a lot is how can we develop this quote-unquote team bond. The fact that, you look at any application, it says check box is better. How do we get the mindset of the U.S. ski team that when they leave, when they apply for something, checkbox is better than the U.S. ski and snowboard team. And I was curious. This is an opportunity to provide me with some guidance of what you think might help out in that next time you talk to leadership. Absolutely.
One of the things that I've heard rumors going around, and what they're in the process of integrating, is meshing the pro and rookie teams and working together to bring the higher level athletes closer to the development program. And I really believe that's a positive effect and for U.S. snowboarding in a whole. And we also talked with your ranger buddies about the friendly competition that is involved in the military.
Don't suggest any of the things that they
not that they described, but being around people that are really, really good at what they do pushes the lower half upwards and makes them want to excel. And not necessarily the lower half, but maybe the less skilled, or the potential to rise to the occasion. And riding with the pro team, or riding with the Shaun Whites and the Chloe Kens of the snowboard world, will make people like me who are coming up through the development program, or people like the other rookie team members, really ride better. And it will be a worthwhile investment for not only for us to have that camaraderie like the military has and your military group had, but also in the U.S. team, and making it one team instead of the rookie team and the pro team.
So one thing that we didn't really talk too much about in the gentlemen you had the opportunity to meet today, they were both infantry guys. Now in my unit, the Task Force 300 that we've talked a little bit about, it was not all Rangers and infantry. It was actually a combination of infantry and Cav Scouts. And I'll tell you, that was an absolute struggle at the beginning. But we were able to make it work, and the result was the smallest unit since Vietnam getting a presidential unit citation from President Bush. Thank you. It was quite an accomplishment. But so the way that I look at that is like, okay, that's like taking an alpiner and snowboarder and putting them on the same team. Like, what can you possibly get out of a guy like Steve Diamond or a guy like Bodie Miller or Michaela Sheffin? So like, I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm sure there's a lot that could be brought to that. And even on the snowboarding side of, a snowcross athlete, what can they bring to a half-pipe athlete? And if anything, if there's that common bond of culture, and if athlete knows, we haven't talked too much about this, but the emotional end of existence. You genuinely know that athlete on a complete other spectrum, but under the same team as you, has your back and support. I mean, what would that possibly mean to you?
Having support from other athletes in different disciplines means a lot. I think it not only motivates one to do better, but also broadens our support group. And having a good support group, especially in an extreme sport like this, where you have your coaches and your technicians and your wax tech and your friends that are also on the team, but to have teams on the alpine team support the snowboard team, or teams on the Nordic team support the alpiners, or teams on the pipers support the border cross team. I think all of that cross support really will bring the team closer together, and also help improve the overall riding and capabilities of U.S. snowboarding and U.S. skiing.
Yeah, one of the things that I really try to press on to your leadership when I was there last time is when they talk about how do we advocate for this culture, this common bond, and all that stuff. And you talk about trying to raise the level of the lower part and bring the pros and rookies together. If you're going to change the culture of an organization, you can't start with the people that are only going to be there 2 or 3 more years, or maybe not even that long. And I think, at least my outside perception is, all the focus does go towards generally, the athletes that, are on TV or medal in the past. And I really encourage, like, hey, go after the rookies, because if you start with them, and if they buy into it, it may take you a few more years to get it, set, but that's going to be the momentum.
It's the investment.
Exactly. And, I hope, 4 years down the road when we're doing another rookie camp, then maybe if I get the opportunity to come in and talk again, you're, talking with me, having been a seasoned, 4-year member at that point of the team. And then, being able to talk about, hey, having this culture aspect is important. And I'm here to tell you as a senior member that it's important that you buy in and support this. And in terms of that, growing culture, what you see now initially, I know you've only, been around it for the last 6 to 12 months to the level that you are now, but what is your idea right now on the quote-unquote culture of the ski and snowboard?
So the quote-unquote culture, I guess, of the snowboard team specifically is pretty much strictly snowboarding, and we really support our own snowboarders, but basically, and cross-discipline, slope versus pipe and stuff like that. And I had the opportunity not only to just do a snowboard rookie camp, but it was a rookie camp for everyone that was joining the team. So I met mogul skiers and alpiners and aerialists, and to meet them and realize that they're going through the same things that I'm going through as a rookie on the pipe team really made me connect. And I've made really, really good friends with the rookies that weren't necessarily snowboarders that I used to only hang out with exclusively, but with the skiers, and I really enjoyed meeting them. And I think that, again, the blending of cultures, not only with the snowboard team culture, but maybe with the alpine culture, and then the aerialists and the moguls, I think that all blended together will be overall more beneficial for U.S. summer sports.
So you're wearing my body armor today, and you remember the patch that I have up on the top? What does it say?
I think it said, "Embrace the suck."
Embrace the suck. So the reason why that was one of our mottos, in fact, Seth Lewis, who you met today, was the one who gave me that patch. You talk about everyone's got the same struggles. Just maybe a little bit different between disciplines, but it's that's right there is what I can say probably was the common bond that brought us together, was embracing the suck. And, some of the coaches have talked to me about doing some event or something like that, like a 24-hour straight, physical of it, to try and create those conditions, because unfortunately the conditions of embracing the suck, that why we had that was, losing 9 guys.
Yeah.
Going 7 days on a mission without sleeping, and your leader got shot and was gone, and now you're in charge and trying to figure out what's going on. But if we were to offer something like that, with the ski and snowboard, to support something like that, would that be something that you'd be willing to tackle and be a part of?
I personally am always looking to challenge myself and improve myself physically, and mentally as well. And I think that a really hard, 24-hour camp or something similar, and where
you did 24 hours.
Yeah, that's like baseline.
Yeah, so 72 would be
Yeah,
the goal.
72 would be the goal, but a very intense, 2 or 3 day camp would be, I think, very helpful in improving me personally, my level of mental strength, and finding out what my real limit is, instead of giving out early when I think I'm tired, but I'm not really, and really pushing myself, but not to the point of, danger or, injury, of course.
Controlled chaos.
Yeah, controlled chaos, exactly. But I think not only that, but doing it with people who are just as motivated as I am, like the other members of the rookie team, will not only bring us close together, but also, improve ourselves moderately as well. So I'm really excited. I think that would be a good idea. I would enjoy it.
Well, it's in the works. There's one team that's already talked to me about doing something just individually within their 7-person organization. Well, I'll tell you what, Jason, I was, last night when your dad was, leaving, I was like, oh gosh, I'm stuck here with an 18-year-old kid, what the heck's gonna happen? Like, I don't know what to do. I mean, technically I'm old enough to be like your father, which is scary. So I had you when I was 20. But, the level of maturity that you displayed, especially in today's age where the majority of your generation is what I consider to be the entitlement generation and the iPhone generation or whatever. I can't tell you how impressed I was with how you dealt with the people that I put in front of you, how you dealt with, the events throughout the day and just hanging out with you last night. You're definitely one of the team members that, I want to put that extra effort towards helping you provide with any and all the resources that can help put you on the podium. Because ultimately, when it's all done and said, that's what it's all about, is getting on that podium. And, my opportunity to represent our country is done. But now this is, like Seth said, this is your opportunity to carry forward the torch in 2022. And man, we're really looking forward to supporting you and doing whatever we can. So it's been absolutely awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.